Hello everyone, Dibz here, and as many of you have noticed, Tracer has been much harder to play with not only Brigitta added to the game, but also the 100 damage nerf to Tracer's Pulse Bomb. Though Tracer may seem like in a very bad spot now, there's still hope, and I'm here to shed some light on how to Tracer against the Brigitta meta. Throughout the season, with Brigitta heavily played throughout the meta, choosing Tracer at the right time and following these things has helped me maintain a pretty high win rate along with a high playtime with Tracer. But first, I want to quickly thank Pursuit for helping me out immensely in regards to improving during this meta. It tracks every single one of your matches as well as comprehensive statistics that pushes you towards your next goal. It is currently free for my subscribers for those who use the link below in the description. I'll talk a little bit more about Pursuit later, but first let's talk about the shift in the current mindset and strategy of Overwatch Competitive. With all of these changes, instead of Tracer being a carry hero like previous seasons, now Tracer's playstyle is more team-based, rather than raining havoc in the backline alone and obliterating tanks with her Pulse Bomb. Luckily, if there is no Brigitta on the enemy team, you can essentially still be playing Tracer the same way as before, so make use of these chances when possible. However, with Hanzo, Zarya, and Brigitta being a big part of the meta with all the armor and peel, here are the ways to fight against the meta and improve your chances of winning against these kinds of high HP comps. First, let's talk about how you'd play around Brigitta on the enemy team. The main job of the Brigitta is to peel and provide support against flankers. One of the best things you can do as Tracer is to wait until the enemy Brigitta is dealing with your front line, and then pressure the back line to try to get a pick. Most of the time, she will be distracted, but if she sticks to the backline to help peel against you, this is also pretty good because you are drawing attention of the Brigitta away from their front line. Not only will this push the main fight in your team's favor because you have the Brigitta plus support trying to deal with you, but she will also not be building her ultimate while hunting you, while your Brigitta, assuming that you have one, and the rest of your team will be getting their ultimates much faster, which allows you to snowball against them. This means that for Tracer, when dealing with the Brigitta, survival is key. So here are a few tips on how to survive against a Brigitta. Tip number 1. Always keep tabs on where the Brigitta is. You should always be asking yourself where she is positioning herself, because if you don't know where she is, she could be hiding around a corner waiting for you. Ask your team if they know her position, and try to utilize high ground to scope out the same before engaging. High ground gives you more vision to spot her, allows you to hunt for weak targets more easily, and also gives yourself a safe recall position in case things get ugly within 3 seconds of your engagement. Also, having a Pharah on your team when playing Tracer helps hold your high ground, and she does a great job bursting down armored targets, especially the Brigitta herself. Once Pharah is able to get targets weak, Tracer can then quickly chase to finish off the low targets and clean up, and this is why Pharah plus Tracer is a strong combo. To increase your survivability, you can also ask for Brigitta armor when diving in to ensure that you have more buffer to escape. If the enemy decides to swap to a Widow to counter your Pharah, you, as Tracer, should be ready to take care of her before she causes too much trouble for your team. Tip number 2. Be as annoying as you can to the enemy team. This means that you should spray from medium range if needed and tickle down the enemy to pull their attention while being very cautious. Once you see a target that you can kill, while the Brigitta is busy and not watching you, only then should you dive in for the kill and get out when possible. Tip number 3. The best time to try and engage a Brigitta is in an open area, and before doing so, save 2 blinks before engaging. You can use 1 blink to get in close and immediately blink away after, just as you would with McCree and his flashbang. This will bait out her shield bash if she has it, and from there, you have a better chance of taking her out. However, if you want to be safer, one thing you can do is to wait for her to use her cooldowns on your teammates and then aggress on her. Tip number 4. Do not frontline unless your entire team is collapsing on theirs. If you ever frontline while the enemy Brigitta is alive, most likely than not, their frontline will be super bulky and be difficult to take down, and her cooldowns can easily knock you out of the fight. Tip number 5. If Brigitta chases you to help support, pull her away as far as possible and waste her time. While doing so, communicate with your team to push and take advantage of the space that you are creating. The more that the Brigitta is focused on just killing you, the less focused she is on healing her team, and the easier it is for your team to pick somebody off, especially if it's the Brigitte. Aside from the Brigitta being heavily picked in the meta, Hanzo can also be a pain for Tracer. However, after their nerf to her Stormbow from 80 to 70 damage per shot, Tracer can survive a Stormbow headshot with 10 life left and at least contest them for a little while. The safest thing to do is to line of sight the Hanzo during his Stormbow, but if you still decide to test the waters, be sure to either recall or line of sight once you take a Stormbow hit, or reach below 140 life when dealing with Hanzo. Once you take damage from a Stormbow body shot, the next shot has a chance to be a headshot and can kill you. If you actually take out the Hanzo, it's great for your team, as much of the follow-up damage from their Graviton Surge will be out, and the rest of your team can push and build up their own. Another thing you want to always be sure of is to always communicate with your Zarya. I bomb, I'm ready for it. As most likely you have one this meta, as your combo can still do quite a bit of damage. Huge! Most of the time, you'll want to have the Hanzo on your team to combo with the Grav, but adding the extra damage to pad your own Graviton can do wonders. However, if you're confident with your sticks, what you can do is focus them on the enemy Zenyatta. His main job is to heal his team during your Graviton Surge, so if you pulse him to take him out of the fight early on, or bomb him to force Trans out before your team combos, the next Graviton combo from your team is sure to kill everyone trapped in it. Remember though, if you have a Pharah on your team, her barrage can outdamage Zen's Trans. If you pick the Zen off at the start, you can free up a lot of pressure from your Pharah, who is the biggest threat to the enemy team, especially if they don't have a hit scan. Aside from the Zen, sticking the squishies on the enemy team is definitely worth it. Other prime sticking targets would be the enemy Mercy/Ana, Zarya, and or Hanzo. The rest of the squishies are pretty good too if you see the chance. You'll want to stay away from sticking Reinhardt, Winston, Roadhog, or D.Va, unless you're 100% sure that the Zarya's bubble is down and that your pulse bomb will kill the tank. Sticking a squishy for a sure kill is much more efficient to use your pulse bomb since it only does 300 damage now. However, if you are communicating with your Zen a lot, which you should be doing, you can easily stick tanks that have discord on them, and in general, focus targets that your Zen calls out to be discorded. Working together with all the callouts with your team can help secure these kills, especially with all the armor coming from the enemy Brigitta. Working together as a team with Tracer is much more effective against this type of comp, rather than trying to solo the backline on your own. In reality, you should be thinking more about what you are contributing to your team, instead of just going straight to the first target that you see. This brings me back to the program that I earlier mentioned, Pursuit. First off, this tool is free, as in you don't have to pay a single cent to use it, so there really isn't any reason to not at least give it a try. Not only that, the client has virtually zero impact on your FPS and computer performance while running in the background. To go more in depth, what Pursuit will do for you is track every single thing that you would want to know to improve, and provide knowledge to what you have been doing in all of your games, and what needs to be done to climb to your goal, whatever that may be. Not only does it track what you've been doing, it also gives you stats to compare yourself with those who were in your game, including your teammates and your enemies. This allows you to review every single game and find out things like first picks, target priority, kill contribution, trends, and anything else you could think of to actively focus and work towards improving your game. In short, Pursuit helps you assess your strengths and weaknesses and allows you to get clarity on how to improve. It is currently free for my subscribers for those who use the link below in the description. So if you're looking to gain a lot of SR by improving, give it a try, as you don't really have anything to lose. In regards to improving in this meta as well as reacting to the Brigitte meta, remember, patience is key. You do not want to try and rush alone against this comp. Use your game sense, scope out important and killable targets, and you'll succeed just fine. Try to exercise these tips and thought processes, and you'll be able to play Tracer and not feel completely useless as many people say. Keep your head up, good luck, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Yo, Ja!